Playing the same few chords all the time can start to sound boring, but if you want some interesting, tasteful chords to add to your playing, I'm going to give you some in today's video. Hey, I'm DJ, and in today's video, I'm going to give you 7 beautiful chords that you can use while you're playing. And as a note, in today's video, I'm going to show it to you in the key of G, but you can transpose it to whatever key you're playing in. So the first chord is B7. This chord holds a lot of tension. It's like when you're watching one of those satisfying videos online and you're like, is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? And then it happens. That's called tension and release. And this chord has a lot of the tension part, a whole lot. If you're playing in a minor chord progression, you might as well just throw this in there because it'll probably work. I'm yet to see where it doesn't, so just throw it in there. E minor, A minor, you're playing those chords, yeah, just throw B7 in there. It will probably work because this chord is just that good. So this is how this chord is played. You take your second finger, put it 2nd fret of the 5th string, your first finger is 1st fret of the 4th string, and your 3rd finger is 2nd fret of the 3rd string. So now I'm going to show you a short example of how you can use this great tension chord in your playing. Chord 2 is C minor 6. This mellow chord is great for the resolving release part of the tension release process. This chord is typically used after a C major chord and typically resolves onto G. It is super mellow and it's great for the release part of tension and release. Now don't get me wrong, do not use B7 for the tension and then C minor 6 for the release, because these chords are used in different contexts. There's different types of tension and release. Just like if you watched a video of a raindrop about to fall and then all of a sudden they cut to somebody finishing cleaning something, like that's not satisfying. If you want to learn how to play this chord, you take your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 5th string, your 1st finger is on the 1st fret of the 4th string, and your 2nd finger is on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. So now I'm going to give you an example of how you can use this chord. The 3rd chord is C2. This is a very simple and easy chord as it's just one note off from a C major chord. But this chord is used typically in intermissions for a tune or a melody. So if you're following the melody, you'll typically play this chord because it's got that one extra note in it that'll follow the melody. But it typically resolves on G once again. So if you want to know how to play this chord, just play a regular C chord and then take your pinky finger and put it on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and that will give you a C2. And here's a very brief example of how to use this chord. The 4th chord is G7. This soulful chord is great for descending chord progressions. So if you're starting on G, you can descend with G7 to go to E minor, which is where it's typically used. This is a very soulful, funky sounding chord, and it's so nice to add it in there, just to transition it with something slightly different than you might expect. If you want to know how to play this chord, take your 1st finger on the 1st fret of the 6th string, your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, and your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 4th string. And here's a short example of how to use this chord. The 5th chord is D/F sharp. This chord is great for descending chord progressions, again, just like the last one, and is also used in between G and E minor, but this is the less soulful, less funky variation. So if you want to have a normal descending chord progression that doesn't sound as funky, just use this one instead of G7 and it'll sound great. So if you want to play this chord, you just take your second finger on the second fret of the 6th string, and you take your third finger on the second fret of the 3rd string. And here's a short example of how to play D/F sharp in a chord progression. Chord 6 is G augmented 2. Now, it sounds a little complicated, but it's not too hard. It's just very niche. It only has a few uses and is typically only used after G, but when it is used correctly, it is a very beautiful chord. And I wanted to throw this in here so that you can play around with it, because it's a really beautiful chord to play with. So in order to play this chord, you take your third finger and place it on the 3rd fret of the 6th string. You place your first finger on the 1st fret of the 4th string, and you place your second finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. And here's a quick example of how to use G augmented 2 in a chord progression. And the last chord, chord 7, is G11. This is probably the king of all release chords. It is great at the release part of the tension and release. And you typically use this chord at the end of a song. So if you're playing in the key of G, just end it with G11. It has so many notes in it, and it works so well. So if you want to be able to play this chord, you take your third finger, put it 3rd fret of the 6th string, put your first finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and take your second finger and place it on the 2nd fret of the 1st string. So that is 7 beautiful chords that you can add to your guitar playing. I hope this video was valuable to you. I really enjoy these chords and I love using them, so let me know which one of them is your favorite, and let me know what videos you would like me to make next in the comments. And if you like the video, feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, God bless.